Well, Teen, don't you just look beautiful in purple? You got,
Thanks, Norm.
is that a new t-shirt?
Yes, it is.
Well, I felt compelled to wear my purpley shirt.
Oh, and you look very smart.
So, Teen, is all retirement created equally?
Well, you would think so, wouldn't you, Norm?
You would. It
Hmm.
doesn't seem to be.
No, and we're going to talk about that today.
But before we get into this weighty topic, we are,
Tina and Norm, and we talk all things retirement or finance or travel.
and if you really like these videos, we'd appreciate if you could give us a thumbs up. It does help our channel survive on YouTube. So, Teen, is all retirement created equally? I don't think so.
No, because, one of the things we were thinking about, Norm, was how come we see a lot of people who they don't seem to have changed their lifestyle. They seem to move from how they were living to retire, but still continue to spend, 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 and they're not
Yeah,
really changing.
they're buying the Cadillacs and
Yep.
the big SUVs, and retirement doesn't seem to have become a frugal endeavor to them. And when you
No.
start looking into it, those people generally have something special, don't they, team?
Yes, they do. They have a government pension.
And by government pension, we mean they worked for either
Hmm.
the federal government, the provincial government, or the municipal government, or in the US, it could be federal and state
Yeah.
governments. And those pensions are pretty darn good.
I think it gives them something in the region, and I'm going to say around 70% of their annual salary that they were on.
Plus a big benefits
Yeah.
package with health insurance, travel insurance. Um, so their expenses in retirement are pretty minimal,
Hmm.
yet they still get the same level of pensions of some people who don't have or who haven't worked for the federal government.
Hmm.
And in Canada, one of the little insidious things, if that's a real word,
I thought it was a growing plant, no.
is double dipping. And there's a
Oh.
lot of that going on. And this is what happens with a lot of these government jobs is that you can take the expertise you had there
Hmm.
and in retirement go get another job. And retirement for a lot of these employees is around 55.
Yeah, which is really quite young, isn't it? Because, generally if they put what about 35 years in on the job or
Yep.
something, they can easily retire and then, as Norm says, go back, be a consultant or something and pull the money back again.
So if we were talking to our grandchildren or maybe your grandchildren, I think if they're looking at a career move, it's starting to seem very attractive working for one of the levels of government
Hmm.
because by the time you get to retirement and you realize it's too late for you, these pensions are worth millions.
Yeah.
Literally, you would have had to have saved millions of dollars to generate an income of 70 to 100,000 a year in
Hmm.
retirement, plus pay for all those health benefits and health insurance. So, yeah, there's really, really good pensions out there. The second level of pension,
Well, that's really, I think I'd put us into this class, Norm,
I
where
think we just squeaked in at the bottom.
I think we're going to call us the sort of middle class of the pensions, where I think a lot of people will have put lots of money into their RRSPs.
And in Canada,
Hmm.
that's a thing that we discovered when we
Hmm.
came here from the UK, is there's a section of people who almost view the RRSP as a competitive thing
Yeah.
and sink a lot of money into it. All good
Mm.
credit to them
Yeah.
because they're taking care of themselves.
Yeah.
But we are very much encouraged in Canada to contribute to the registered retirement savings plan.
And there's also the TFSAs that is a savings account that is tax free, so you can fund that too.
And the thing that we would say about the TFSA, which is, can we actually say what that is? It's
tax-free
savings
savings
account.
account.
I,
I'd
I,
forgotten that. That's why I was calling it a TFSA.
I
No.
just had another senior moment seeing.
Oh dear.
The nice thing about the tax-free savings account in Canada is you contribute with after-tax dollars. After the taxman has taken his portion of your pay, what is left, you can then contribute some of that up to 6,500 per year.
Yeah.
And there is a tactic that if you're a low-income person, it may well be better while you're working to contribute to the TFSA rather than the registered retirement savings plan.
And I think another thing too, Norm, to remember is because we haven't had that many years to catch up with the people who have been paying into our RRSPs since they were like 20, because we were in our early 30s when we came to Canada, the one thing that has really helped us and possibly will help other people in our situation is that we had always planned that we would sell our home, and that big nest egg of money would give us the interest that would help us through a good retirement.
So while a lot of people have built up a really large RRSP, we weren't able to do that. We were re-establishing our life after emigrating to Canada. And so basically, as Tina said, we knew all along we would sell our house and that would become our retirement savings, which it did.
So I think, Norm, that with the money from selling a home and the TFSAs and the RRSPs, plus also the government pensions, that together with your CPP and OAS, that can give you a really nice lifestyle in retirement.
And if you don't earn too much, there is no clawback at this level of income. Let's call it middle income. Whereas if you have a very large RRSP or a company pension or a government pension, you can get into clawback where they'll take your old age security at certain percentages back.
But I think being in that category would give you enough money to travel if you wanted to travel. So we have worked that out for us so that it can allow us to travel.
And then there's the other level of retirement and possibly no retirement, because for some of us in the community, just making ends meet is difficult enough, especially with low-income workers. The demands of housing is getting expensive. So some people are unable to save for retirement, and their retirement is going to look very much like working.
And I think we're finding that a lot of surveys are now showing that there are a lot more seniors that are either not able to give up work, or they think they've retired and then they're finding they have to go back, get possibly a part-time job to be able to bring that extra income in.
That's right.
Yeah.
So really, if you can save, and let's talk to some of the people who are still in the workforce, do try and help yourself and maybe cut back on your consuming and save more so you will have the ability to retire, because we do know people who can't retire. And you know, we've felt so blessed that we worked hard, we paid our house off, we managed to get an amount of money, and it's given us a wonderful retirement. And we have had some nice travels.
We have. We're loving it, aren't we?
We are. So maybe a letter to your grandchildren. And when they're coming out of university, perhaps encourage them to go and work for a company that has a pension plan, because a lot of them have cut them out, or go and work for a government. And that can be anything from law enforcement, medical, to municipal. And these pensions are just, they're gold plated. They're just worth so much in retirement. So anyway, Teen, is all retirement created equal?
No, we definitely don't think it is.
So we hope everybody is keeping well.
And staying safe.
And until the next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.